Hello and welcome to a video entitled 10 Insanely Important Everyday English Phrases and Why We Use Them. And I hope you will see why they are so important to us. These videos are brought to you by Phoenix Learning Channel. It's a video channel dedicated to your English improvement by daily study of English and daily practice of English. All right, let's just jump into it. And the first set of phrases, or set one, is to do with greeting somebody, especially somebody that we did not meet before, perhaps a stranger that we are meeting at some function. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It will be determined by what time of day it is. If it's morning before noon, we will say good morning, good afternoon until perhaps 6 p.m. And then after 6 p.m., we will say good evening. Then you will say, after saying good morning, the other person might also reply by saying good morning back to you. You would say, my name is, whatever your name is. I've just used Frodo from The Lord of the Rings. Then you will exchange what we call exchanging pleasantries. I'm pleased to meet you. The other person might reply, I am pleased to meet you too. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. And then we engage in conversation. When we say goodbye, when we uh, leave the person or the person leaves we'll say see you soon, goodbye, or bye bye. Although bye bye is more informal, perhaps we will stick to goodbye on a first meeting, slightly a little bit more formal. Now, I want to emphasize that these phrases seem like a kind of a formula, but they are actually very important. And they are important because it represents communication. And communication, like food, and I was writing this when I was having lunch, brings people together. When we meet strangers, we want to know more about them so that we can find common ground. When we meet friends, we want to know about their well being and what they are doing lately. So these questions are there for us to get information from the other person, to get the conversation going. If it's a stranger, we want some special information. I will get to that in a moment. So after the what we call the pleasantries, hello, how are you? My name is so and so. Then we will start asking more specific questions to get information. So I just wrote there blah blah blah. Already we covered that. And then get to how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And then what do you do? We want to find out about your job. Where are you from? Where is your hometown? Which country are you from? And then what do you like to do in your free time? These are not formula questions with a formula answer. These are questions, well, it's a formula, it's a questions, I guess, but designed for us to get information from the other person. So if you are in an interview situation in an exam and the examiner asks you, where are you from? Well, that's your hometown. There is not a right answer. The right answer is your hometown. What do you do? That's your job. What are you doing at this moment? And what do you like to do in your free time? And I see this so many times that students just memorize an answer. And it makes me really sad because this part of the interview is partly it's to let the student relax, to feel relaxed, but it is also to see if the student can function in a normal situation where there are other English speaking people. So really there are no wrong answers because people, what do they do in their free time? They go fishing, they like to do reading, or they go skateboarding. These are just three examples I could think of very quickly. So whatever it is that you do in your free time, I don't expect you to say, well, you read books. Oh, ooh, that's 10 out of 10. Or I like swimming. Oh, that's only 6 out of 10. It doesn't work like that. It's genuinely an attempt to know more information about the other person. to enable us to have a good conversation. The third set of phrases that we're looking at is greeting friends, and here is a photo of me and a very good friend of mine from China. Uh, when we talk to our friends, we will be less formal. We will say hi or hey, what's up? How's it going? What's new? In some parts of the world, in South Africa, for example, they don't even say how's it going anymore. They just say how's it. All right. The answer to that, same as always, pretty good, no complaints. All right. It's very rare that we will say, oh, I am so unhappy, I want to kill myself, blah blah blah. At the end of the conversation, we'll say see you, cheers, later even. Is very slang-like language, very low formality, which is great because you are with friends, right? Like we do in writing. When we write a letter to our friends, the language that we use is much more informal. Same principle applies here. Let's learn a little bit about polite expressions. That's our fourth set of phrases that we are learning about today. And this is again in society, how we keep society moving along. We are expected to show good manners. I think all of us, when we grow up, our parents teach us good manners. And the interesting thing is that manners are different between countries, right? This is not to say that your manners are wrong and my manners are right. But we have to understand that if we go to English-speaking countries, what is the polite way of addressing people in the English language and in the English culture. So we will say something like, excuse me, but can you help me? So if I go into a shop and I see the shop assistant, I may say, hello, excuse me, can you help me find whatever the case may be? If this person then helps me, or in the restaurant, thank you for recommending the chef's special dish. I am really grateful that you recommended this to me. I enjoyed it. I'm with a friend in this photo, a friend of mine. Maybe she has had some bad news, and then say, I'm sorry to hear that your cat is sick, for example. When somebody says thank you to us, maybe my friend told me thank you for paying for dinner, I will say anytime or no problem, don't mention it. Uh, Maybe I feel sorry to my friend. I did something wrong. I said, "Oh, I apologize for being late." Maybe she was waiting for me at the restaurant when I arrived late. And then I will say, it is my fault. Okay. Perfectly fine to do that. I know that in some cultures to say sorry means to lose face. In the British culture and the American culture, we say sorry very easily. We regard it as a good manner. I'm sorry that I am late. I'm sorry that I forgot, whatever the case may be. So these expressions, again, they seem like a formula, but they play a role in our society. They play a role in making sure that the relationships between people is kept smooth. The fifth set of phrases will be what I call the native phrases. It's so important for people to say, I want to learn to speak like a native. These are idiomatic phrases and very important to understand because, of course, if you meet native speakers of English, they will use these idiomatic phrases. And if you don't know them, you may feel left behind. Please remember to subscribe. I really love to see new subscriptions, and this is what will keep the channel going. So if you find this video helpful, please remember to hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the page. Native expressions. If you feel a little sick, you can say, I am under the weather. If you want the process of making somebody feel comfortable, we call breaking the ice. Breaking the ice. If something is very expensive, we will say it costs an arm and a leg. When somebody does a good job, you can say they are on the ball, they know their job, they know what they are doing. And wishing somebody good luck, you tell them, hey, break a leg. It means good luck. These phrases that we are learning today, they are the glue of any conversation. They keep communication between people going. They keep the relationships in a good working order. So these phrases are insanely important to understand how to use them correctly. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching and see you very soon in another video. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.